Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Star Trek Adventures, and we are going to talk about the continuation of the tale of security crewman Archibald on the Enterprise NX-01. We're in Season 1 of Enterprise, right? But we're telling our own story. And so basically, security crewman Archibald was told to report at 7 a.m. to an area near the observation area, and the crates that he had protected for so long and kept secret are now, everything's been broken out of those crates and it's been set up, right? And it's been set up, and it's installed on the Star Trek Enterprise, and so at this point, security crewman Archibald comes, and there is a science officer there, and the science officer says, okay, listen, what you're about to experience is a new installation on a Starfleet ship. It's going to be shocking, and it's going to upset you, but you small, not away team, but on-ship team of 5 people, 2 science officers, 1 security officer, 1 engineering officer, and 1 medical officer are all going to go into this newly created space within our ship, right? And if you would, this way. And so then he points to this darkened hallway, right? And so security crewman Archibald, being the security officer, immediately, being the security crewman, immediately just goes forward, right? And I like that about the Gold player. He interacts with the adventures that are there, but he'll also branch, right, and create new stories, and that's exciting. So he goes forward, and he goes in, and he feels like dust and sees kind of a gray light at the end of the tunnel, right? And he kind of walks through, and where he emerges is in the Old West, the American Old West, right? And he sees a woman dressed in what looks like what you would wear to a funeral, a very ornate funeral dress. She's very beautiful, kind of an aquiline look to her, right? Sharp nose, sharp chin, sharp cheeks, right? And essentially, and she's wearing black, and basically she's in a forest, and there's just kind of a gray light around, right? But she's dressed in Old West, right? And American Old West. And now you and I know what this is, right? Which is the holodeck. And the Gold player knew it right away. I was like, do you know what this is? And he's like, yes, this is the holodeck, right? And so this is this huge, door open in the Star Trek Adventures. It's huge, right? So you run a Dungeons and Dragons, campaign, and you can go from fantasy world to fantasy world to fantasy world, right? And you even have the multiverse, but you don't have literally a carved out space to have a completely different kind of adventure. And that is right here. And and the Modiphius 2d20 system does a fantastic job of revisioning this. And so I've started this Old West campaign right in the middle of the Star Trek Adventure campaign, right? So who he's seeing is Charlotte Prim, okay? And so he's seeing this woman. She is in the forest, and in front of her, right, and she's on her knees, and in front of her is a pentagram with black candles at each of the 5 points of the star, right? And then out of the woods runs this very old Caucasian male, and it is Jim O'Flannan, right? And he's Irish, and he immediately comes out and he goes, I told you, and he points at her and he says, witch, she's a witch, right? And then security crewman Archibald and all the rest of the Star Trek people look, and there's Jim O'Flannan, and he points over and he looks over at Roan Charsk, and Roan Charsk comes out of the mist, right? Comes out of the trees, And it's just a straight gunslinger, Old West gunslinger, brim down low, 2 6 guns at his side, classic jacket. He's a straight murdering gunslinger, straight out of the Old West, right? And Jim O'Flannan's like, I told, the sheriff he didn't have time for this. Thanks for coming. You're my witness. We don't need to wait. Kill her, right? Like, he's like, shoot her dead. There it is. There's the pentagram. There's the black candles. Kill this witch, right? And then Roan Charsk walks up, looks at Charlotte Prim, and then looks beyond Charlotte Prim and sees the Star Trek people. And then, security crewman Archibald looks down, and he is completely dressed like a gunslinger. And all of the Starfleet officers, all the Starfleet, I'm just going to say officers. Some of them are crew, but I'm just going to say it's easier to say Starfleet officers. So all the Starfleet officers are, they're like, oh my gosh, like they look down and they all realize they're all in the Old West outfits, right? Really cool. I absolutely love this aspect of, Star Trek Adventures is a perfect frame story, and you could run a completely additional game within the game. It's incredible, right? Like I unpacked like this Arbor Gulch campaign that I've been running, and I absolutely love it. It's just so exciting and fresh, and I absolutely love this, right? So security crewman Archibald is like, oh snap, right? Like this this gunslinger is about to kill this witch, but in our time, hey, this is just a different religion, right? You can't just be running up people and slaughter them because they worship a different god, right? Like, so small g, because it's the devil, right? And but security crewman Archibald is like, uh-oh, right? Like, and so Roan Charsk comes up and he goes, who are you, right? Like, and immediately security crewman Archibald says, we're sorry to surprise you. We came from the closest local town, right? He says, and then he says, but this woman is innocent, right? She's not worthy of your wrath, right? And I was amazed how quickly the gold player just kind of snapped in, realized, hey, I need to do the thing, right? Because, because this gunslinger, man, like it's, these gunslingers, you don't even have a second, right? These guys, they could kill somebody within a half a second. Like, that's not an exaggeration. They could draw fire and kill within a half a second, right? Like, and so, and so at this point, Roan Charsk is, and then Jim O'Flannan says, no more talk, right? I don't care where these people are from. You need to kill this witch before she casts a murderous spell on us, right? And Roan Charsk looks over and he looks at security crewman Archibald, and his hand twitches. And then security crewman Archibald's like, I'm going to throw down, man. I'm going to do it, right? And so he does, right? So first of all, we used determination. He invested momentum, and he gave me a threat, right? And he maxed out at 5d20 and shot Roan Charsk straight between the eyes, killing him, right? So within 30 seconds of them going on the holodeck, security crewman Archibald deals lethal damage to a holodeck projection. Then the holodeck projection evaporates. They all come back to they're in an open hangar bay, right? Like, they're in a smaller space, not a full hangar bay. And this is the first holodeck experiment. And Captain Archer and Sato and all the bridge crew are clapping, and about 20 other people are clapping. And then everybody is like, this was a successful test of the first holodeck, and everybody's excited. And then there's a huge party, right? And security and captain and security crewman Archibald, at this point, he's had a success, right? And I haven't talked about this much, but the way experience is given is it's normal milestone, arc milestone. It's normal milestone, spotlight milestone, arc milestone. And at this point, security crewman Archibald has been working his way through these, and this was big enough to get an ARC milestone. And so it was a really fantastic session. I was really blown away with what a great job Modiphius did with this. Absolutely loved it. I really highly recommend this game if you're playing Star Trek. I actually think that, Dungeons & Dragons crushes it at everything, but Modiphius really has worked hard with this 2d20, and I'm really stunned with what a good game it is. So we reached the next point on the Tales of Security Crewman Archibald. Thank you for letting me share this with you, and I'll continue to tell the story, because I think we're up to we're continuing the story. It's been going extremely well. Every single word you just heard is my opinion on Star Trek Adventures Warp Onyx campaign. I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.